particular show across our social media platforms at K24 TV, as well as engage with us at K24 TV across all social media platforms and at Ian Keitani. And when I talk about you engaging with us, of course, I expect you to give me your feedback and, what you think in regards to whatever is happening in the country. We all know that yesterday a censure motion was filed against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua at the Senate by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana. Now, as much as the censure motion might not have, any legal grounds, it might have political ramifications for the second in command, who for some time now has been decrying the sad state of affairs and the sort of animosity between his office and that of the highest office in the land. The Deputy President on Friday laid bare what is happening and the state of affairs between him and his boss, at some point in time saying he was removed from a WhatsApp group that the death of the president used to be posted. And from then, on Sunday, he was in Kiambu County, attended a church service in Kiambu County, made several stopovers after the church service in Thika, Waithedie, and in Githurai. And while in church, the Deputy President called on his boss, President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to protect him and keep his promise. In fact, he said, in his own words, "There's a promise you made, Mr. President, and this promise does not need funding from IMF, from World Bank. It just needs you to protect your deputy." Remember, President William Ruto, when he was sworn in to take over reins of power, he said he will not allow his deputy to be humiliated or disrespected. That is the promise that his deputy is calling on him to keep. Question is, will President William Ruto come to his rescue? Now, after that particular plea to the president, Rigathi Gachagua went bare knuckles on those allied to the president. And in fact, to the president himself. And he said, "I was duly elected together with the president on the 9th of August 2022. And I was not elected by members of parliament." He says members of parliament have been paid to oust him from his office. This particular morning, we'll be talking about that particular issue at large, just to try and understand what is the state of affairs at the Deputy President's office and what is at stake now that the censure motion was filed by Danson Mungatana, the Tana River Senator. Is he preparing way for the quote-unquote MSR? That is the impeachment motion that is supposed, or rather is said to be on its, preparation to be tabled in the National Assembly, because that is where everything is set to happen. The question is, will Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President, survive this particular onslaught? But because we'll be talking about that later on, yesterday was a heated debate in the Senate chambers after the Senate Committee on Transport, chaired by Kiambu Senator Karungo Othangwa, had invited CS John Badi for Treasury and the PPP Directorate, led by its Director General Chris Kirigwa, to shed light on the Adani JKIA deal. Now, tempers flared, and at some point, four senators, led by Edwin Sifuna, Nandi's Samson Cherargei, Stewart Madzayo, walked out of the session, and of course, Richard Onyonka, because they were protesting what, the chairperson of that particular committee, that is Karungo Othangwa, they said Karungo Othangwa made sentiments that did not go well with them, and in a way, he was protecting the embattled CS, who was at pains to explain the Adani takeover, because there are several issues at stake, and one of the things that emerged during that particular session is that, according to Richard Onyonka, the Kisii senator, there were two other bids or proposals made by two different companies. One is a company called GMR, and the other is a company called Nexus Logic. Now, according to the senators, how comes the two other proposals, privately initiated proposals, were not considered? And the CS, together with the DG, Chris Kirigwa, the DG, of course, for the PPP Directorate, said they only received one PIP, and that is the one for Adani. Now, if they only received one, does it mean someone at the Kenya Airports Authority did hold on to two privately initiated proposals? Because those privately initiated proposals are written to the Kenya Airports Authority. So if the PPP Directorate and the Treasury did not receive the other two proposals, it means someone did hold on to that or those particular proposals, thereby giving Adani Airport Holdings an upper hand in trying to secure that particular deal. Remember, this is a deal that has raised a lot of eyebrows across the country, with Kenyans demanding for accountability amid claims of, not even claims, because this is the truth. The deal has been shrouded in mystery and secrecy. Question is, will the truth eventually come out? We'll of course I'll be engaging my panelists as well on that, just to get to understand where they stand on that, because a section of Kenyans on social media, especially on X, do say the issue of the president and his deputies could also be a diversionary tactic, just to ensure that Kenyans do not no longer question the issue of Adani and it sees the light of day. We'll be talking about that later on, but at this particular moment in time, let's just have a look at what's making headlines in the news this particular morning. Now, a censure motion has been tabled in the Senate by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana to express displeasure and disappointment with the conduct of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. According to Mungatana, President William Ruto is not behind the motion, opining that the office should be scrapped off completely. As Joel Shasha now reports, calls for Gachagua's resignation are now rife as the safest option for Gachagua to survive in the murky political space, since if impeached, he would not be fit to vie for any political seat.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is now a man in trouble following impeachment threats being made good with a censure motion tabled in the Senate ahead of the much anticipated impeachment motion.
So this is a censure motion which I have filed today with the office of the Speaker of the Senate. They will process it. Once we get approval, we shall table it before the House, give notice of the motion, and debate the censure motion against the holder of the office of Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
The Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana is refuting assertions that President William Ruto has a hand in the motion that will parade Gachagua as a national shame.
Hakuna impeachment motion ambayo itaenda kwa bunge kama party leader wetu hajaeka mkono.
From a practical point of view, I am the head of delegation of Pan-African Parliament in Kenya. This is the African Parliament. And we have just come yesterday from a session in Johannesburg. So I have had no opportunity at all to meet or discuss with His Excellency the President. And I'm also given to know that he's outside the country.
Gachagua is accused of being centered only in his region at the expense of national unity and further propagating policies that are punitive for other regions.
Our Deputy President talks like he belongs to a certain region in Kenya, to the exclusion of the people of Tana River and other regions.
To this end, Mungatana is now proposing an amendment of the Constitution to scrap off the office of the Deputy President to avert such future.
What if we say, in the next constitutional dispensation, we do away with this position which is causing us manenos, and then we say, what if, in the event of incapacity of the President, that the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, who is a political, he does not have any political, he's not from a political party or anything, holds that office and prepares for the general election.
This comes even as it remains a wait-and-see scenario in which Member of Parliament will table the impeachment motion seeking the removal of Gachagua from office as the second in command, with fresh calls for him to resign now emerging.
If the Deputy President is wise and he is genuine and he believes that he has the mountain with him, solidly behind him, then I speak to him, Mr. Deputy President, please resign and face President William Ruto in 2027.
Joel Chacha, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Staying with the same issue is that KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli is now calling for an evaluation of the Deputy President position and wants the country to move back to the presidential appointees as Deputy President. The current constitution does not provide the leeway for the President to fire the Deputy unless through an impeachment process. Martin Opio looks at what the 2010 constitution entails in a bid to remove a Deputy President from office, even as the debate on kicking out DP Rigathi Gachagua gains momentum.
The siege against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua appears to be gaining momentum. Akin to his predecessor William Ruto during the Jubilee administration, Gachagua is facing the heat from all sides. The latest to join the fray is the man at the helm of the Workers' Union, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, who believes that Gachagua is biting more than he can chew.
President William Samoei Ruto is out of the country and is on top of his car. Now he's the real president, misleading people, misguiding the nation. He must be arrested. Yeah. If it were a Kanu government, me I'm Kanu, we would have arrested him in the morning. And taken him to where at one time I was taken to.
Atwoli wants a re-evaluation of the position as he proposes that an appointed Deputy President will not take the country through a circus.
The position of Deputy President must remain of appointment, being appointed by the President. And there will be no all these circus you hear. Deputy President should be an appointee of the President, not a running mate. Because when he becomes a running mate, he feels he's also a president.
He feels that a DP should not be vocal.
You can't be contradicting government policies, contradicting your own president, contradicting everything. A deputy president is supposed to play fool. He's supposed to be just, not even to be heard, unless he has been told you will be heard now. Because one country cannot have two presidents at the same time.
The debate comes amidst calls for impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Under the 2010 Constitution, a DP can only be fired or removed from office through an impeachment motion tabled in the National Assembly on the grounds of physical or mental incapacity to perform the functions of the office or impeachment. The DP can only be impeached on grounds of a violation of a provision of the Constitution or any other law, where there are serious reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed a crime under national or international law or for gross misconduct. Any member of the National Assembly supported by at least a third of the members may move a motion for impeachment of the Deputy President, according to Article 145 of the Removal of Office of the President or Deputy President. If the motion is supported by at least two-thirds of all the members of the National Assembly, the Speaker shall inform the Speaker of the Senate of the resolution within 2 days, and the Deputy President shall continue to perform the functions of the office pending the outcome of the proceedings. Within 7 days after receiving notice of a resolution from the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Speaker of the Senate shall convene a meeting of the Senate to hear the charges against the Deputy President. The Senate, by resolution, may appoint a special committee comprising of 11 of its members to investigate the matter. A special committee is appointed to investigate the matter and report to the Senate within 10 days on whether it finds the particulars of the allegation against the Deputy President to have been substantiated.
I wish you had produced this one.
If the special committee reports that particulars of any allegation against the Deputy President have not been substantiated, further proceedings shall not be undertaken in respect of that allegation. If substantiated, the Senate shall, after according the Deputy President an opportunity to be heard, vote on the impeachment charges. If at least 2/3 of the members of the Senate vote to uphold any impeachment charge, the Deputy President shall cease to hold office. For now, calls for the political class to quell the political temperatures are rife.
Tunauliza rais na deputy wake waite wanasiasa wetu na wawaambie wakome siasa ambazo zinaweza gawanyisha watu wetu na siasa ambazo zinaweza hujumu mipango yetu kama chama na kama serikali, especially hapa Nairobi.
Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Let's cross over to the coastal city of Mombasa, and 4 suspects linked with the abduction and sodomizing a Mombasa-based blogger have been arraigned at the Shanzu Law Courts. Lead Investigations Officer Irene Karungu sought more time to continue holding the suspect as they seek to arrest and record statements from top Mombasa County officials. Bonfas Msangi tells us more.
4 suspects linked with abduction and sodomizing a Mombasa blogger, Haji Babu Mohammed alias Achikobe, Abdul Hassan alias Sindimba, Violet Odera alias Voyo, and Esther Mudhoni alias Toto have been arraigned before Shanzu Mombasa Magistrate Robert Mbogo, facing charges of assault, abduction, and sodomizing a Mombasa-based blogger.
Abdul Hassan Athman anashtakiwa na kosa la ulawiti kinyume na sheria. Maelezo ni kwamba tarehe 12 Septemba mahali pasipojulikana katika kaunti ya Mombasa, ukiwa na wengine ambao hawamo hapa kotini, ulisababisha uume wako kuingia katika tupu ya nyuma ya mtuhumiwa katika kesi hii. Unakubali au unakataa? Nakataa. Ukiwa na wengine ambao hawamo kotini, mlihusika katika njama la utekaji nyara wa mtu mmoja kwa jina Bruce John Hajira. Abdul Hassan Athman, unakubali au unakataa? Haji Babu Ndao, unakubali au unakataa? Esther Mudhoni John, unakubali au unakataa? Violet Adera, unakubali au unakataa?
The court was informed that on 12 September, at a known location, the accused with others who were not before the court abducted the victim and took him to a known location where they assaulted and sodomized him.
We also apply for an alternative of cash bail. I'm instructed to indicate to you the willingness of the accused persons to comply with any condition that the courts may give.
Lead Investigative Officer Irene Karugo and DPP Anthony Musyoka have opposed a move by the suspect counsel Gerard Magolo for the release of the suspect on bond, saying they will interfere with evidence even as they continue to pursue other key suspects to record statement, including Mombasa Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nassir and other top county officials who have gone into hiding and their phones gone off.
Efforts are underway to arrest the remaining suspects, record statements, including that of Mombasa County Governor, his mother and other senior prominent government officials who have intelligence reports that they are assisting some of the suspects to go into hiding, and this can be confirmed by their communication, which has gone off air.
Shanzu Magistrate Robert Mbogo will rule on Tuesday on whether the suspect will be released on bond. Bonfas Msangi, K24, Mombasa.
Let's talk matters education. And police yesterday dispersed striking university lecturers who are protesting in Nairobi using tear gas. The lecturers, among others, complaining non-implementation of the 2017-2021 CBA. They have also denied claims by Education CS that they have agreed on returning to work, saying they cannot sign an agreement that discriminates some of them. Mariam Mujahid reports.
The strike by lecturers from public universities has entered its second week. And this week, tensions have escalated. The lecturers carrying placards and singing songs of protest held a peaceful march through the streets of Nairobi, hoping to voice their concerns to various government institutions. This was not just a standard protest. With cheers and laughter, they danced and sang, showing that hope still lingers. But their peaceful demonstration was suddenly interrupted by the sound of police whistles, and a cat-and-mouse chase began. Police, both in uniform and plain clothes, swamped the streets using tear gas to disperse the crowd. It wasn't only the protesters who suffered. Journalists covering the event were also caught in the mayhem. Still holding their placards high, some lecturers were arrested and detained by the police. But this didn't deter them, with the Secretary General of the University Academic Staff Union, UASU, Constantine Wesonga, strongly condemning the police for failing to protect peaceful protesters.
It is not for us to go and request the policemen for permission. Our duty is to notify them, and they are supposed to provide us with security. And this is a confirmation that we notified them on 19th September 2024.
The lecturers are protesting the government's failure to honor the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement, demanding unpaid allowances and comprehensive health insurance.
IPCCF does not want us to give us automatic annual increment. Yes. And that is why we have differed. The next thing, our medical schemes have since collapsed in all public universities. We want the government to come up with one uniform, non-contributory, comprehensive medical care.
In addition, they are calling for guaranteed pensions upon retirement.
The government owes university staff pension component for 2010-2012 CBA, 2013-2017 CBA, amounting to 3.56 billion.
The lecturers, who are furious, have denied claims made by the Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba that they have agreed to return to work.
To the CS, Minister of Education, my senior Ogamba, CBAs are not negotiated through letters.
Despite an order from the Employment and Labor Relations Court instructing them to suspend the go-slow until their case is heard, the lecturers have vowed to continue striking until their demands are fully met.
All dons throughout the country, listen to the voice of the union. Can you stop? Join the strike. I want you to intensify this strike. I want you to escalate the strike, and I want you to upscale the strike.
A week ago, Judge Jacob Gakeri stressed the need for further negotiations to avoid disruptions in the higher education sector, with the ruling expected on October 2nd. Mariam Jahid, K24, Nairobi.
Well, time will tell for how long the university dons will be on the streets, or when the government will address their concerns. Now, on that note, we just take a brief breather, but we'll be back with a newspaper review this particular morning. And remember, like I said, the conversation this morning is on the censure motion tabled against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana. Will be here this particular morning alongside Wilson Sosion, who is a former legislator, as well as the NAT SG. As well on the panel will be Willis Otieno, who is an advocate. That will be after this short break. Don't go away.